What up, fight fans? Man, right now, I'm just hoping this sounds right and like my mic here is like the voice is at least a little bit closer. Wow. So I'm just gonna let a couple people just join. Um, the situation with the mic and everything, I went back and I watched my audio and I was like, wow, man, my voice, it doesn't seem like it matches up or whatever. And I'm just like, that was just too far off. So I made a couple adjustments. Hopefully, when I go back to watch this video right here, the voice and it's not so distracting. You know, I kind of had to like hear the video, like play it, and just like not pay attention to the video, but listen. You know, so that's kind of frustrating for me. So but as I'm working out all these kinks, I appreciate everyone that's at least taking the time to listen to the content that I was putting out, if it was not distracting for you. So, uh, while we're here, let's just get into a couple things, and I just wanted to give the viewers or anyone that wanted to let me know if the voice and the mic is coming out at least a little close, and if you could hear it clearly. No audio. I could hear it on the YouTube channel. Oh, it's mad low. Oh, all right. Hold on. Let me see. Hmm. What about now? Hold on. What about right now? Is that good right there? Is the volume high enough? Let me know. I'm listening to it right here. It sounds like it went up. Um, I want to see if that worked. All right. Good. All right. What's up, Jamie? What's up, boxing? Boxing Leonard. All right. You can hear me now. All right. And it sounds like the mic and the voice is like coinciding. All right, guys, let's get this started. It looks like everything's working, I guess. All right. So I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on some of the biggest fights that are coming out starting the calendar year for 2024 in boxing. By the way, thank you for joining me on another edition of Round One Sports Talk. So let's let's talk about this. Vasil High-Tech Lomachenko is making a ring return, and I brought this up in the video. His opponent is George Kamboza. Now, I had talked. It's funny, right? Ironically, I had in a previous video, probably not so good audio. I'm not sure if you caught it, right? But I had suggested that like Vasily Lomachenko and Tank Davis, because of their stature and the way both fighters fight, that would have been an interesting fight. George Kamboza put his name in the equation, and that'll be a good fight for Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko, right? George Kamboza, he's got a decent name. He's got a fairly good name, right? And what happens is later on, future fights down the line in 2024, these are those kind of fights that are going to pave the way for later fights down the road. Vasily Lomachenko wins that belt. Guess what you think they're going to do? They're going to try to put him to unify those belts against who? If Shakur Stevenson is victorious, right? Now, there's one thing I want to know, because this will also determine things. Do any of you guys out there know right now, before I look it up, so Navarrete is moving up to Shakur Stevenson's weight, right? Shakur Stevenson ain't going down, right? So it's going to be obviously for his belt. And I believe that's the way. I'm pretty sure that's the way it's going. So whoever wins that, Vasily High-Tech Lomachenko is going to challenge them to unify. The other possibilities are what? What do we have here? We have one of the other belts that are still vacant. Someone else is fighting for that other belt. So these are just mega fights in the future to think of. Who do you would like to see Vasily if he is successful, or who would you like to see George Kamboza face if he is successful? And the 140, okay, there's a lot of rumors with Devin Haney. His name's been mentioned with several fighters already. Subriel Matias being one opponent, right? Ryan Garcia being another opponent. Ryan saying that he wanted that fight. Now we're starting to catch wind that Ryan Garcia is trying to solidify a fight with Rolly. I explained the backstory to that little Rolly fight. The belt just might not be on the line. Are they going to be willing to still go ahead with the fight? I'm not sure if Ryan Garcia will be too happy with that. Seeing that Ryan Garcia is real adamant now where he wants his career to go. He wants to be a champion now. And I believe his best avenue of securing a title would be, to fight one of them. Now, here's an interesting scenario. As I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about the whole thing, here's an interesting scenario. What if Ryan fights the old man for the interim? He beats the old man, gets him out the equation, meets up with Rolly. Whatever injury, whatever mishap Rolly had, it would even give him more time to settle his and put Ryan and the old man. He's just coming off a win. So, I don't think he has all the time in the world to play. He would like to probably get in the ring as soon as possible, right? And rather than, unifying the title, he can get money out of it. You got Ryan. He sells tickets, right? You get Ryan in the ring, and then boom, they'll fight. So, that's a possibility. I'm not sure if, the WBA will go for it, but that's more likely of happening, Ryan fighting the old man, than that belt being on the line for their fight. And what would sell their fight, the narrative, would be that the WBA title was on the line. And that's what would sell that fight, you know. Um, you know, as of right now, there are a lot of big fights I want to see. In May, the Japanese superstar is making another ring return. I would like to see who's also top rank is going to put on that undercard. The last time that the Japanese superstar was on a fight in December against Marlon Tapales, one of the Japanese fighters on that night, you know, sustained to his injuries, later fell into a coma. If you would like, you can go back and watch some of that fight. You know, in between rounds, he didn't look good. His body language, you know, and sometimes a lot of these fighters and managers and cornermen and referees and stuff, you know, you want to give your fighter a chance. You know, you don't want your fighter on the ride back home or on that plane ride back home, like, you know, just not talking to you because you threw in the towel and you felt like, you know, you didn't believe in your fighter anymore. You know, and there has been fighters in times that have come back in fights. But in situations like this, you know, I can't say that I would have caught on to it. You know, you would like to think you would have caught on to something like that. I wasn't there. I wasn't in the moment. But when situations like this happen in boxing, it always raises eyebrows. You know, and then people are like always throwing around, if this keeps happening in boxing, you know, they're gonna ban the sport and what have you, right? And I'm like, this has been going on since the dawn of boxing. Things like this, you know, now more pronounced with more social media. They're willing to more show it to you. I'm pretty sure in a lot of different countries, some of these boxing matches that were not televised, some accidents like this will happen, and you won't hear about them, but they do occur. And that goes to show you that the men and women that fight in this sport, they really, 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 you know, they're putting themselves out there, you know, in their health and their life and their longevity, with some of these fights. And it's you know, it's a testament of where you want to be in the sport. You know, there are some men and women in this world that need sports like this and outlets like this to exist. There's just a fire inside some men and women that they find the beauty in hand-to-hand combat. Some people may frown on it, and they may look down and see how dangerous sports are. You know, any sport, walking out your house can be dangerous. But at least you're doing something you love to do. You're competing at a world stage, and you're achieving things that can also put you in a financial, you know, better place. So without some of these outlets, you know, you take away football, you take away basketball, you take away boxing, and where will these kids go? You really want a 14-year-old, 6'6", 315-pound kid standing on your corner? That's what you want? You want a kid built up rage that does not know how to channel it, just a fighter standing outside, has nothing to do. Some men and women, a warrior spirit beats inside of them, and some don't know what it is. They mistake it for anger or rage, and they don't know how to control it. They don't realize that they needed to take that and apply it in a better, productive way, a better outlet. Mixed martial arts, boxing, all kinds of sports. Contact sports doesn't even have to be a contact sport. It could be a physical. It could be a more, it could be anything, but some of us need outlets because we are not all the same. We do not find, some of us do not find the beauty in combat sports, but others do. And we need it. Unfortunately, sometimes things like this will happen in the sports, but I tell you what, if you ask that man or woman, would have they done it all over again? I don't think they would. At least if they gave their life doing anything in this world, they gave it doing a sport they loved. That's better than getting shot in a drive-by shooting, fighting over things, unnecessary things. There are countless of young men and women that have lost their life for a lot less. At least I was doing something I love to do. And that's how I view it. That's how I view some of these things, topics and points in our sport. Right now, hold on. As a matter of fact, let me check y'all messages. Did you get a haircut? Why, yes, I did. You noticed? I didn't want to, say anything. You know what I mean? But okay, you're gonna go ahead and notice. Well, you know what I mean? Now you got me all about myself right now. All like. And now I'm going to hit the side view. You see how you got me right now? You want me to show off the do. You mentioned it. Now I had to hit you with the side. You like that, right? You like that? Okay, let's get serious here. That's right. That is way better than, dying in the hood over nothing, man. Over some argument over Jordan or how many points this dude put up. You seen it pop off. I'm pretty sure. Maybe some of you haven't, but where I'm from, I've seen dudes get killed for less, man. And you doing something you love. I can see the beauty behind that. I don't. Those parasailing dudes that jump off bridges and for a sport, and they be, wow, right? But hey, they love to do it. I might look at it and I can see where people would look at boxing the same way. You see, I might look at that and say, "Come on, man! I'm not about to jump off something. The ground is perfectly working right here. Why do we have to jump off this bridge? There's nothing wrong with it." You know what I mean? I'm on that. I don't want to jump off the bridge. You know what I mean? But it's what makes an individual happy, and since we're all unique in our own different ways, that's why I bring it up like that. As far as boxing goes, what up, John? Monkey Crazy, what up? Jamie Boy, what up? Let's see here. Yeah, man. Yep. Yeah, a lot of people's these things have happened in their career. Now, check this out, right? So, I happen to know a friend of mine that got an interview with Subriel Matias, right? And I should have had that up and got the interview because I actually have it, right? I'll put up the link in the description, right? And so that you guys can watch it, right? So a good friend of mine did the interview with Subriel Matias and another gentleman. And they did it in Spanish on Puerto Rican, and he doesn't speak a lot of English or whatever, and so they did the interview. Okay, they were interviewing him. Subriel Matias had a pretty rough upbringing, like on some real street stuff. Like I believe if I'm not mistaken, the guy told me they stabbed him an outrageous amount. I mean, shot him an outrageous amount of time on some 50 Cent shit, right? And they stabbed him. They shot him, I think, 4 times in the shoulder, and he's still boxing. Subriel Matias, he's been locked up, federal prison. They killed his brother. He gets out. Somebody's like, yo, take all this rage and take all this aggression, and why don't you fight? Why don't you box? Now, here's a man that started boxing late, Subriel Matias, right? If you ask that man today, what did boxing do for you? He'll tell you, boxing saved my life. I would be dead right now. I've already been shot X, Y amount of times. I've been in prison. They killed my brother. Where was I headed? They was trying to finish me off the second time they shot me. They didn't finish then. You think they was going to come back? You think if he stayed in them streets, Subriel Matias might be alive today? I don't think so. I don't think so. Not the way he was going. Not with his anger. Not with it, the way he is. He's just a one big ball of rage. And look what see, what I'm trying to say is, Floyd Mayweather, it's no secret, man. I'm not going to even try to, this is not even on no funny shit, right? All jokes aside, right? The man can't read, right? And I will never down anyone for not being able to read, write, anything. That's not funny. I don't find it funny, right? But I know he can't read or spell all that well, right? Cool. He doesn't have that kind of smarts. Floyd Mayweather might not be book smart, but I'll tell you where he's a genius at. In that ring. He's as smart as any professor alive when it comes to his craft. You understand that? He is smart. He's a genius. Floyd Mayweather. There's just different kinds of geniuses in this world. Everything doesn't always have to apply in the same way. You see? And because the school system deemed him not to be educationally sound, society would have shunned him and said he would have amounted to nothing. The only place he was headed was death, prison, if he was lucky. Right? He won't go nowhere. They didn't. How? What? You know what I mean? But he was a genius. And thank God to sports like this, combat sports, it gave him a way out. And look who he is today. You think he gives a two shits about that dude reading? Listen, I'll pay this dude to read the book standing right there. Begin. What? You know what I mean? And talk about, betting on yourself, man. He didn't let that shit bring him down, bro. Man, I can't. I'm not computer smart. I'm not gonna look like. And he looking at that dude, and he reading the menu, bagging a bit, and Floyd, you know what I mean? But he made himself. He don't read the menu now. He buy the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I talk about. Knowing yourself, discovering who you are as a person. It's one thing to, always look for outside sources or education, but watch what you take in and watch what you deem to be true. You could fall victim like many of us have, like I did in my younger age, fighting for the wrong things, okay? Fighting for something like this, being a young man like Devin Haney, achieving so much, only being 24 years of age, that really he separates himself from not only athletes but being a young athlete. I've seen a lot of young athletes get a lot of things handed to them early, and it didn't fare so well. I've seen your horror story. Okay, they're out there. Okay, and not every athlete that was pushed out the gate, that was supposed to be revered as the next Michael Jordan, you know, the next Floyd Mayweather, not all of them always panned out. Okay, you really don't know who that next person is going to be until sometimes, we don't know they were that great until they're gone in some cases, and that's a shame. You see the great Tom Brady. No matter if he won 7 rings, for the last 5 years of his career, 5-6 years, he was never talked about on ESPN as being one of the elite quarterbacks. For 5-6 years of his career, the tail end of his career, they said he was not an elite. You know who was the elite quarterback every year? Aaron Rodgers. Every year, Aaron Rodgers, the number 1 elite quarterback. Tom Brady wins another Super Bowl. Shit, Aaron Rodgers is the number 1 quarterback. He wins another Super Bowl. They didn't appreciate him until he was gone. Now when he's gone, they like, man, fuck football is shit now, right? Right? They didn't appreciate Floyd when he was around. They didn't appreciate fighters like Julio Cesar Chavez and shit. And when they finally did some shit that you turned around and was like, come on, 90 professional fights without taking a loss? 89 or some shit like that. Right? It's ridiculous. And you know what I mean? Like, there has been like fighters and athletes that I'm pretty sure, man, damn, I would like to see MJ again. I really would. I really, really would. Kobe. Damn, man. God rest his soul. And right now, if we don't set our differences aside and show our appreciation for these gladiators and show Terrence Crawford and the Japanese superstar, we love the competition, but we gonna respect both of you, because by you being so that hard up, I'm not saying be a trade, I'm not saying abandon it, but I'm saying you could still support both fighters. You could have a number 1 and a number 2. You can do that, right? Who said we can't do that, right? I don't want you to miss out on either of these men's career. If you're a fan on either side, it works both ways. If you're a Naoya Inoue fan, don't not watch Terrence Crawford's fights. You should watch them. Let's find out what they're talking about, right? Support them. And likewise, the other way around. If you're a Terrence Crawford fan, so watch the Japanese dude. Let's see what all the commotion's about. You feel me? Support boxing. At the same time, you could come right out of the fight and say, I still love Terrence Crawford. It would be your right as a fan and your opinion, and you would not be wrong on either side. You see, we could also keep it competitive. Hey, I ain't switching. I'll check him out. I ain't switching, right? Respect. But I just don't want you to miss out. I don't want you to miss out because we are on a unique time in boxing right now where that you have 2 men at the exact era doing what's never been done in the sport of boxing. Are you kidding me? So where are we headed? If this was the first year of this, what direction are we headed in? Listen, we're going to get some really epic fights and we're going to see some good champions fall. Be prepared to watch your fighter maybe catch an L this year. Okay? Because that's what's probably going to happen. There are going to be some big upsets. There are going to be some moments. Now, Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford, Like I said, I tried to warn you guys about this. I don't pay attention too much to every video, every back and forth. I just want to know, is it on or is it off? That's it. We'll be here all day, just like they dragged this out for 5 years about this fight. If you cling on to every storyline that's being published about them two men, okay? I mean, either of them can wake up this morning and just text some random nonsense, and these guys will be talking about that for a week. Okay? That's not what I'm interested in. Are we fighting or are we not? Period. Right? What's going on with Saul Canelo Alvarez? I told you guys, right, that I did not say it. Did I not say it? Did I not say, right, the world wanted Saul Canelo Alvarez to fight who? I'll give you 3 guesses. If anybody can answer me who they wanted him to fight, you win a prize, right? You don't need 3 guesses, right? It's no secret. Everyone wants to see him fight David the Monster Benavidez, right? Bandera Rojas. You know who he is, right? So that's the fight we want to see. What happened? Saul Canelo Alvarez looked right into the camera, just like this, and said, you guys want me to fight him? I'm going to fight him. I signed the 3-4 fight deal, whatever it was, with the PBC. And in that fight, he's one of the fighters I'm going to fight. That's what he said. Once again, what is he doing? What is David Benavidez doing? How many times is this fight going to get announced and not happen? How many times have we been here and nothing happened? I mean, look what's going on right now in the sport of boxing. Okay? This is great. This is awesome. And now that I have you here, I want to point out a few things. Let's just keep this in mind. Okay. Canelo Alvarez was offered, rumored to being, I wasn't in the room, between $50 and $55 million guaranteed. Now, the word guaranteed changes everything in the game. I want you to know this. The reason why the word guaranteed changes everything is because when they say, the Japanese superstar is going to go in to fight this guy, and they said we offered him $2.3 million, right? They only pay him a percentage of that up front. After the fight, supposedly from his promotional team, if they're honest with you, they're supposed to give you the rest of that money. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way because they don't feel that they made their cut. So they feel like they should take money from you. It happens all the time in the sport of boxing. That happens all the time. George Camboza was estimated to getting $10 million for Devin Haney. He ain't getting no $10 million. He did not get $10 million. So anyway, what happens is when they tell you this, and the difference between that and guarantee is that they would have had to have paid Canelo Alvarez whatever it was, whether it be the 50, 55, before he entered the ring. That's guaranteed. That means that there's no, you wait for your money on the back end, we'll give you half up front. No. That's one check, $55 million. Here you go. Before he gets in the ring. That changes the game. So if Canelo Alvarez said no to 50 or 55 million for fighting David Benavidez, he said no to that. That would have been the most money he ever fought for. Now, he said no to 55 million and went and fought for 13 million the next time he fought. I would have to look that up, but I think I'm like right. I remember all this shit. This shit is flooding in my head right now, right? He turned down 55 and fought for 13. Saul Canelo Alvarez back then, okay? Speed things up to present day. Look how the Saudis are not playing. They're saying that it's true. They're offering this Japanese dude, whatever it breaks down in yen, $69 million. And this Saudi dude is throwing money around like it's going, like, listen, like I told you, I reported to you guys, there's no way on God's green earth he made any money on that Tyson Fury Francis Ngannou fight. It didn't sell that much pay-per-view buys. What was it, like 100,000 pay-per-view, if not even that, right? I don't even want to say that. Don't hold me on that. That was a guess. But I'm telling you right now, it wasn't no big thing, right? And then for having all those fighters, their families, everybody building that stadium, there's no way he made a red cent off of it. But guess what? It didn't affect that man. He got so much money that doing this right here, brother, when I say kidding around, pocket change, straight pocket change. These dudes is multi-billionaire. He's probably a trillionaire, that Prince, on the low. This cost him nothing. And if he's throwing $69 million at that Japanese dude, where you think his next fight's going to be at? Bro, if his highest paying fight up to date, the Japanese superstar, I think it was like close to $3 million. The most money he made in a fight. I think it was almost close to $3 million or some shit like that. Bro, talk about a markup, a write-up. Jesus Christ. Salute, baby David. What up? Yeah. What up, John? Salute, bro. Yo, listen. I gotta say that had it not been for them Saudis, bro, we might have not got some of these big fights, and the way we're getting these big fights, the event. You know how you see how they, since they flipping the bill, they put on their own performances. If you didn't notice, or you did notice, the dancers had way more clothes on than American would have been. You know what I mean? They would have been a boob somewhere. Saudi don't play that, and they had and it was mad cool. The event was chill as hell, and I never seen anything like that. So they're good for boxing, and if they'll bring the Japanese superstar, and remember, without them Saudis, bro, where would Tyson Fury be? He can't fight in America. He would have to have everybody fight him in his backyard, and not everybody's reluctant to say, yeah, Tyson, I'll fight you in your home country. Being the man you are, some fighters want a little bit, and he was stuck. He's still stuck out there. But he can go to Egypt and shit out there with them. You can wherever on that side, I guess he could travel. I'm not too sure on Tyson's situation. I don't know if they gave him his visa back, but I know he was in a lot of trouble at one. Well, he wasn't personally in trouble. Let me retract that statement and make it sound like he was involved in shit, right? No, he's not involved. They just think that he might know something or know about the Kennedys or whatever, their whereabouts, the Irish mob dude that they're looking for, the son and the father. It's all over YouTube. You guys can check all this shit out. It's no secret. They got like fucking 100 videos of Tyson Fury and all this shit. That's where I saw it from. Yeah. So I don't think he can. So look it. If he couldn't, look what these people are doing for us. That's fucking awesome. So, who would you guys like to see? What pieces would you guys like to see moving around in the 140? What pieces would you guys like to see moving around 135? And are you guys comfortable with the fact that we do not have a heavyweight champion? We do not have a cruiserweight heavyweight champion, and we don't got no champion under that. Our heaviest champion right now, current date, which I really can't even use them, come to think about it, which was David the Monster Benavidez, which they have him listed down with the American flag. But he has an interim belt. And if I don't count interim belts, meaning we have about 9 champions with like 19 world championships. That's what we have. We don't have 19 just regular one belt champions. We have some strong champions at one time. And at the time, remember we had Devin Haney, he had all 4 belts. So that counts for 4 belts, one guy. And then you had Terrence Crawford, he had all 4 belts. That's 8 belts right there for the Americans. And it's only 2 guys. It's the truth. And then you had Jamel Charlo, he had all the belts, right? So, and they were all in different weight divisions. So at one time, the Americans had like dumb amount of belts, but not a lot of fighters. You see? The only fighters the Mexican have that is unified, undisputed is Saul Canelo Alvarez. The rest of their champions mainly have 1 or 2 belts for the Mexicans. The Japanese side, which Naoya Inoue, he has the 4, but there's a guy down in the 108, I believe. He has 2. He has 2, and they're official. I've checked them out. I just can't say his name, bro. So, that's how I'm counting it. Because, it might be one guy, but you got to give him credit for the 4 belts, don't you? Just because he's one guy, you can't say that's just one belt and he has all 4. It doesn't work that way. Because if those belts were separated individually throughout the division and 4 different men had them for different countries, you would count them, right? So you got to give the Americans the credit for that. And then we have some good women champions. I think we got the top women champion, Clarissa Shield, and our Puerto Rican girl. So we are, damn, how many divisions? Clarissa, she got 3, right? It's 3? She got 3. That where she's held all the belts. She's on some shit. She really is. She's on some shit, man. That girl is something else. But yeah, that's how it works. And look, we need a heavyweight champion, bro. Who do we got that eventually is going to step up and bring us back to the glory? We need a heavyweight, man. We need somebody, bro. Who? I mean, there's a couple good prospects. They look good. But their opponents is what concerns me. Who they're fighting concerns me. That, you could look good against anybody. But we need I would like in due time someone to step up, and because you can be the Devin Haneys, the Tank Davises, and the Terrence Crawfords of your division, and you can do fine and represent your country well. There's no problem with that. But and when we're talking about the top award in your sport, meaning, like the Lombardi Trophy, there's only that, right? And the biggest belt in our sport, we have to admit it. It is what it is the heavyweight championship of the world. You have the heavyweight championship of the world. It means that you are the biggest, baddest motherfucker on the planet, period. No matter if I believe that you do not have the best skill in the world, but hands down, you are the toughest. So, if you're the biggest, baddest, how are you going to say that he doesn't have the best belt? He does. So, in that aspect. But for in every other aspect, a belt is a belt. As long as you're a champion, you know what I mean? You can't take nothing away from Terrence Crawford. You can't take nothing away from any of these other champions. They're in their weight division doing their job. But it would be nice to get that heavyweight championship. Ali style, baby. You know what I'm saying? Bring us back to glory. You know what I'm saying? The glory days. You know. you know. So they bought half of the PGA. The Saudis. They buy anything. They'll buy anything they want. They'll buy space right now. How can you buy space? And then the dumbass that sold it to you, our motherfuckers like, yo, can I buy it? And then somebody just turned around and was like, yeah, yeah, you can buy space. $1 trillion. He said, yeah. He's like, got one. Yo, son, you sold space? Really? Yo, people crazy, man. I'm gonna sell some air next. Like, this shit is crazy. Nah, you can't float over here. Alright? I own that out there. Yo, what are you doing when you're half a space, bro? You're not even living out there. Why don't you sell it to me? Yo, that's some crazy shit. Them Saudis, they just got real money, man. Real money. And the one thing about their money is backed by gold. That's what their money's so strong. I'm not going to get into politics. Fuck all that dumb shit. But, I mean, if you go to an ATM out there, from what I'm hearing, or whether this is a lie or something, they talking about it's a different kind of like ATM type shit system. It's like a little bank, I guess, or whatever it is. And they go get gold coins out of the machines. You put your shit and it spits out gold coins. Nobody steals them because they give them to you. That's what you're gonna have to use. It's not. I don't know how true that shit is, but if it's on some shit like that, that's fucking ridiculous. That's fucking ridiculous, right? Anyway, listen, guys. These fights right now, kicking off the year 2024. As you can see, a lot of big fights have already been scheduled. There are some fights that I can't wait to see. There's some fights that I just want to be done and over with. There are other fights that are rumored to happen that are interesting, but I don't think that are going to happen. So this year, it's like a murder mystery kind of. I want to see where a lot of these people are going to end up and where, because if Tyson Fury is successful against Usyk, that's going to really put, for one, it seems like every time Tyson Fury reaches his goal, he gets bored with himself. When he doesn't have something to shoot for, he just goes into kind of like a spiral. Longest it always seemed like he had like a mission, to go for. He was focused. But once he gets over that hill, he starts wearing Batman suits, jumping out of Lambos in press conference with his belly out. He starts saying ridiculous shit like, I want $1 billion for a fight. You know what I mean? So he messes around, because I'm going to tell you right now, the best version of Tyson Fury will show up to this fight against Usyk. You better bet on it. Listen, I know it. I just know it. This is what this man lives for. I've seen this kind of man before in my life. I know this kind of man. The way they be, and I think he's going to show up. Now, just because he shows up and he trains well in his preparation, yeah, I'll stand on that. Doesn't mean he's going to win the fight, 100%, right? He has an opponent in front of him, Usyk, right? So Uzyk's going to bring the noise. Uzyk's going to train his ass off for this. And what makes Usyk so dangerous is that he's been a cruiserweight. He's been at the lower heavyweight division. He fights slightly faster than your normal heavyweight. So he's seen all this before. So that makes him very dangerous. That's how he surprised Anthony Joshua, and that's how he surprised most of his heavyweights with his speed, Usyk's speed. Remarkably, I think the man has to hit hard because he's keeping these big guys off of him. Anthony Joshua is not a little guy, all right? And he did it not once but twice. So, I believe he had him mentally beat in the second fight. But anyway, so Usyk brings his own unique style, his own problems to the equation. I think that, you see, what happens at this level is this is what happens. When you got a guy that's really big and he beats up on the much smaller guy, it's because he was just a little too big for him, right? Okay. But what happens when the little guy has a lot of skill? He outmaneuvers that bigger guy that was bigger, but not as skilled as him. So the little guy beats him, right? He will turn around and beat the big guy because the little guy's more skilled. But what happens when you got a big guy that has skill and a little guy that has skill? Now what happens is, now just your human factors are going to kick in. He's just the obvious bigger fighter. That's what it's going to boil down to. It's not like the little dude, he's got the big skill guy by leaps and bounds when it comes to skill. Not anymore. You see? So I believe that that's what's going to play a factor. I believe he's going to do the same thing that he does to every fight he does. The only guy he was not able to do it was Francis Ngannou. He's going to lean on Usyk. Tyson Fury's going to lean on him, and he's going to drag him out. Usyk's been susceptible to the body. We all know that. He's going to give him some good, great body shots, lean on him, break him down, wear him down. We've seen Usyk's gas tank come into question sometimes. And I believe Tyson Fury is going to solidify the fight. And not unless Usyk catches him early and often. Usyk has the ability to do that. He has good speed. He has great speed. He has enough speed to surprise Tyson Fury. He really does. It's whether or not he can land it. That's what I have to see. It's whether or not he can land it. And if he's successful to land it, I think Usyk has good power. I don't think he has Tyson knockout Fury power. I don't think he got the kind of power that he's just going to lay out Tyson Fury. Let's be honest. He didn't knock out the ball like that. Like boom. Like on some shit like, nah, that motherfucker quit, bro. He just is like, you saw it. I think he never got over the fact. I think he was already cheering in his head that he thought he punched Usyk in the stomach. He thought it was a legit, and he let the fight come out of him. He couldn't get the fight to turn back on. You see, he just let it all out, and I think the ball gave up on that fight. I think he quit in that fight. He found the way out. He didn't want to be in the fight anymore. So I don't think that Usyk has just this ferocious heavyweight kind of power. And we're talking about a man that's 6'9". Like, that's been hit by big, he's been drilled by Deontay Wilder, the heaviest punching heavyweight in probably history, and got up off the ground. He got dropped by the hardest hitting puncher in mixed martial arts in Francis Ngannou and got off the ground. Those kind of men couldn't knock him out and put him away. And you want me to believe that Usyk got this mysterious power that's going to be the one to knock him out? I don't buy it. And if you can't knock him out, so your next plan is to beat him 12-round decision on points, that's your best bet. I see Usyk, he can do that. Usyk can beat Tyson Fury on the points, going to the scorecard. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. He can beat him. The thing is, the other equation comes into factor where that the only person that I believe stands to have a knockout in the fight is Tyson Fury. So And I also believe Tyson Fury can win in a decision. So I got Tyson Fury. He possibility could knock him out, and he has the possibility of going in a decision. I got Usyk. I don't think he's gonna knock him out, but I think he can win in a decision. You see, so yeah, I just don't see him knocking him out, man. But I was wrong when I didn't think that Terrence Crawford was going to knock out Errol Spence Jr. I didn't see that coming. No, I didn't see that coming. No, I did not. I did not see the historical ass whooping that I saw and I witnessed on that night. Man, I was going to pick up my phone and report a crime. Hello, police. I want to report a crime. Terrence Crawford, stop hitting him. Yo, listen, get here ASAP. Yo. No, I didn't. No, I didn't see that. I did not see that coming. I did not see that happening. So yeah. That was just an ass whooping. You know, sometimes I think back to it, like, could he have done anything different? What could have Errol Spence Jr. Done in the fight to make it a little bit more competitive? And there was a tale in the fight that scared me real early in the fight that you do not see at this level. You're not supposed to see something like this happen. And when I saw it, I cringed inside me. I remember this moment watching the fight. I do. I remember going, oh shit. And just like, I knew right there everything. But I try to like deny it. Like inside of me, I tried to like say, nah, that didn't just happen. And then it fucking happened again. And I was like, what the fuck? And what that thing was, it was a very, very, very small thing. It scared the shit out of me. Go back and watch the fight, right? And Terrence Crawford comes out in the first round. And he starts circling out. And when he lands the first significant jab, that he goes, pop! And he hits Errol. I don't think Errol saw it. I don't think he saw the punch, right? So he didn't react to it, right? The next time, what Errol did to try to avoid the punch, he went like this. He literally did this. He went like that. He did that. He went like that. You don't see a professional athlete, a boxer, ever do some shit like that. That's some shit you do in the amateurs. Name me a professional boxer with 3 belts that's ever done some shit like that. I'll wait. If you know, go back, watch it. Yo, he couldn't measure his speed. It told me a lot about the time that he took off from going into this fight. And how good were you with your sparring partners? If you were flinching while he was doing that to you in the moment, you didn't have a lot of sparring. The fight's too fast for you. He was thinking of 2 or 3 things in his head at the same time, and his body didn't know which one to do. That's when they give you those awkward movements in the ring. You're doing shit. Like your body's doing stuff that you're telling 3, like, block, stop, and go. You're doing, and it's making you look funny. What does that tell you about a fighter? He doesn't know what he's doing. He's not sure. You can't be defending 3 belts, fighting the number 1 fighter in the world, doing shit like that. Nah, you can't. You can't. When I saw that, as Like, I was like, hold. I, and the thing is that when you see it, like me, I try to tell myself, now that, come on, man, that's Errol Spence Jr. right there. That had to be, and then you see it again, you're like, oh shit, he's not ready. Oh shit, and then the punches start coming, pop, 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 and you start to tell yourself as you're watching the fight. At least this is me, right? I was like, this is not gonna be good. This is not gonna be good. He's hitting him with stuff that I guarantee you, if Terrence Crawford was honest, right? Terrence Crawford would tell you, I was hitting him with shit I never thought I would be able to hit him. Like, on some amateur shit. I was hitting him with shots, and he was doing stuff I didn't expect the great Errol Spence Jr. to be this low. For as much as they hyped that man up, Terrence Crawford thought he was fighting his equal. Yeah. He thought, man, I must be fighting one of the best fighters since, bro, let me make sure I'm ready. Terrence Crawford was overly ready for that fight. That uppercut, he hit him off the ropes like that. Errol Spence Jr. truly did not see that punch coming. It's not the fact that he didn't see the punch coming, right? It's the fact that he pushed forward expecting nothing in return. That was his mentality going in. Yes, it was. Terrence Crawford was shifting to the ropes in that moment. He was getting beat up. Errol Spence Jr.'s mind shifted to, I want that back. I just want to hit him with a big shot, right? That he got so locked in that moment to go forward for an offense because the crowd's been, cheering for this dude whooping my ass, that you mean to tell me a 3-time world champion, undefeated fighter allowed himself to get into that kind of situation in a fight where that he wasn't no longer thinking about this guy just might throw a punch back? That's some of the basic shit they teach you in boxing. You notice the Japanese, he just he stays on the outside until he got him hurt. Devin Haney didn't move in on Regis Progress, right? Discipline. Don't give him an opportunity. Errol Spence Jr. went flying in there. It was the most easiest uppercut Terrence Crawford could have thrown to that kind of champion in his entire career. It was so visible. He just looked like this and was like, are you really coming in like... His jaw went... He didn't see that punch? You're landing shots like that on a man that's decorated. He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. You're not supposed to be landing those kind of shots on a man like that. You're not. You can land punches like that on some freaking dude that's just coming up the ranks, that needs to learn about boxing, get boxing experience. Not a guy like that. You're not supposed to be doing that. So, yeah, man. All right, Spencer was looking bad going into the ring. Though, bro, did you see his eyes in the ring walk? That's weight drain, depletion, and you don't get the right hydration. Even though he got the right amount of time, his body is not responding like it used to when he was younger. Okay? And I've talked about this with you guys. If when you cut weight, what you're doing is taking all the water out of your body, okay? If your brain is the first organ to release all its water out of the body, and it is the last organ to take all the water in your body back. That means your liver, your kidneys, all of it, all the water you drink goes to every other organ throughout the night, and your brain is the last one to get rehydrated. So if you walk in that ring, you might feel good because you got that meal in. Your body's telling you you're strong. But there's no real way of knowing, unless you ran a CAT scan or some shit, right? Of knowing if your brain is properly hydrated. There's some tests they can do it. And come to think about it, there is, right? So if Errol Spence Jr.'s body was fighting against him because his body was telling him, bro, you can't make this weight at 147. So his body was already fighting with him. I don't think he had enough water in his head to take those punches. That's why I think he fell the first time with that jab. Remember the first time he dropped him? He dropped him with a jab, bro. He sat him down. I know he was off balance. That had something to do with it and everything. But Errol Spence Jr. is a strong man. He took big shots from Usyk, from Cal Brook. He took big shots. He got hit by big dudes, right? So that's why I was like, wait a minute. He doesn't look good. His eyes don't look good. His you know what I mean? And I don't think he was like, you know, able to take them kind of shots and shit. At 154, he might be a little bit better hydrated, but all that spells out for me is a longer ass whooping. He's just going to be around longer to be a punching bag for Terrence Crawford. If he doesn't show up and show out, Errol Spence Jr., he's in for a bad night. Now, for as much as criticism I believe he will get enough criticism, his share of criticism, if he pulls out of this fight. But I do believe that it just might be the best thing for him. Put this fight behind you. Maybe relive it later in the future. You know, get 2 fights underneath you at 154. Get acclimated to the division. Perhaps even grab one of the vacant titles that they took away from your stablemate there. And maybe just establish yourself one more time. And if you feel like revisiting that Terrence Crawford fight later in the future, you know, then take it down then. I just don't think that it's a good time to go back in the ring in front of the man that gave you your first loss and the way you lost to him. I don't think 6-7 months is enough time, even mentally, to get back in front of that guy. You know, so that's why I don't think that it's a good fight to take right away like that. I think he should just maybe secretly ask Terrence Crawford, yo, if I let this rematch clause go in 2 fights, you got to take the fight. And he'd be like, bet. All right, I'll meet you then. You know, on some shit like that. He's going to get a lot of criticism, but fight fans always love blood, don't you? And if Errol Spence Jr. goes out there and gives us blood and gets a knockout, he's back, baby, yeah! And everybody will forget about him giving up the rematch, and then after another fight, he can start rumors about, yo, I want him back. Terrence Crawford, we're going at it. And then here we go again. You see? I just don't I think it's too early for him. I think it's too early. He should put out the Bud fight and try at 154 where you feel, healthier. Yeah, he should. He really should. And then just put that out away and let's revisit it later. You know? So, but yeah. Look, guys, I really was just a little frustrated with the last video, and you guys know my situation. I appreciate for you guys rocking with me today on a snowy day over here. I'm in the house. I don't got much to do right now, and it's only 2:20. Bro, we're gonna go live all day. Like, nah, right? I gotta cut this live right now and get some shit done. Go outside and shovel right now, because, you know, I called the landlord, you know what I mean? And my phone keeps ringing. It's me! Oh, man! Damn it! You know what I mean? You always talk about growing up and owning some shit. When you do, you realize you got to get out there and cut that grass. You got to shovel that snow. It ain't going to pick up itself. You know what I mean? You know? So listen, fight fans, man. Love you guys. You know, Yeah. Yeah, and then, right? You see later when the athlete talks about, oh, this affected me. Yeah, Errol Spence Jr. is on social media talking about the car wreck, and in the Ugas fight, he thought Ugas knocked out his teeth, right? Because he had like a partial, because he ate the steering wheel and it knocked out all his teeth. So he had to go get them fixed, right? And then his hip, he said he was in so much pain, you know. Then they're giving him pain medication and shit, and who knows what's going on behind the scenes. He could be like really addicted to this pain medication shit. We don't know. He looked kind of doped out now that I think about it. He's like, you know what I mean? Yo, some of these athletes, man, they didn't look. It's like, right? I met men in my life, right? And I've heard some of their stories, right? And I knew this one NFL ex football player. I'm not going to mention his name, right? He was a pretty decent player in his own right. You'd be surprised who he is, trust me. And he told me that in the NFL, he started doing a lot of pain pills and different kinds of pills to help him with the pain in his knees and his back and his injuries. And then off season, he was able to, abuse them a little more, because, he told me they just gave him the bottle and he would just self medicate. He didn't have a doctor tell him only two. He just poured whatever he had and just kept going. That became a problem, and later in his life, he went on to harder drugs, and most of us know these stories, right? But what what he didn't. All right. See, because if I say certain things, you're gonna figure out who he is, and I really don't want to. I don't like doing that. You guys know me. I don't need to put someone down to tell you about something. So I'm trying to be careful with my words, because there are certain things, if I say it, the people are gonna know who he is, who I'm talking about, and without his permission, I wouldn't do that. Okay, so anyway, where was I? What was I talking about? Shit. Now I gotta rewind the tape. I gotta rewind the tape. Well, okay, yeah. So some of these guys, some of these athletes do these drugs, and they didn't ask for this life, like this drug life. He didn't ask to, be given uh, the after effects of what the drugs did. He didn't mind taking the drugs to numb his pain, but I don't think they explained to him that they were going to become so addictive, and they were going to lead him down a road of other drugs and abusing other substances, right? So some of these men, like Errol Spence Jr. in this car accident, he might have been under a lot of medication he's never dealt with before in his life. And that's a slippery slope sometimes. Some men would never had experienced a drug, and then all of a sudden they experience one and they go, wow, what is this? And they don't know how to put it down. You won't know who you are until you're in that kind of situation, right? So sometimes we see it. We see it in every sport. Some of these men and women fall victim to drugs, and they never asked for this. They weren't out in their neighborhood. They were being athletes. They were doing the right thing. And because of a knee injury or something, you get sidelined and the doctor gives you this, and then all of a sudden that changes your life forever. You know? Not everybody that is out there, decided. Some people, yeah, they made a choice. Yo, let me try that. That was your choice. Some of these men and women never made that choice. It was given to them by a person they trust, their doctor. And then It goes down that way, man. I've seen it, man. I've seen it happen. I know you guys probably seen it happen too in your life. And if you haven't, it's a sad story, bro. Trust me. So anyway, look, thank you for joining me today, Round One Sports Talk. I hope you all got something out of this video. I'm snowed in. Maybe, hopefully, you're not. There are a lot of big fights coming up. 2024. I would like to keep talking about these fights. Like I said, I'm looking forward to doing some more interviews with boxers and bringing you this. It's gonna be upcoming real soon. Hopefully, this Thursday. If I get the interview Thursday, I'll probably have all the editing, everything done by Friday or something. So it'll probably be about then, or I'll probably go live while they're on my phone. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. Everything doesn't always work out the way I would like it to, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I'm staying optimistic that they squeeze me in, because all the big dudes is going to want to get they, you know what I mean, first. So I'm going to have to squeeze myself up in there, bro. Hold on. You know what I mean? So, all right, fight fans, I love you guys. Stay safe out there. And I'm on to the next one after this one. Round One Sports Talk, baby. Love you guys. Peace.